Hey everyone, my name is Krisell Valenzuela, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am a multidimensional medium, and the way that I use my psychic abilities is to help people come back to themselves, come back to themselves on a soul level so that they can reconnect and live out their mission for this lifetime. Today, I'm so glad that you're joining me because every Thursday I have a different theme for each 1 hour live stream that I do. And every first Thursday, I do live emoji readings. They're pretty fun if you ask me. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to give people some time to join. We'll start with an opening meditation and then we'll jump right into the live emoji readings. If you're interested in the other themes that I have, you can head over to my website, which is right there at the bottom, www.krisellcan.com. Under classes and events, virtual demonstrations, I have the schedule for each month. It's also in the video description. So if you're just joining, go ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know where you're joining from, and we'll give it a few minutes. So I want to share real quick something that I've been working on. So I see all the different things, all the different offerings that I have. And if you're unfamiliar, you're welcome to take a look at my website and get familiar. But I have all these different offerings, whether they be mediumship or whether they be Akashic Records. And most recently, I started doing quantum healing hypnosis technique. Um, and I see them as all different offerings, which are all a part of a greater curated experience that I am creating. And at the core of what I do is I help people shed their conditioned programming, their limiting beliefs, because those are things that we acquire. They're gifted to us and we openly receive them. And oftentimes they stay for much longer than they should. And so, what I did is I created a curated experience through all of my offerings called the Personal Revelation, which serves to reset you and bring you back to the core of who you are. It is subconscious programming and it is releasing all of the beliefs and creating a new paradigm for you to exist in. And so I'm really excited to be sharing that because I'm going to be launching it. And actually, I don't like that word launch. I'm going to be making it available by the end of April. So today's April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. And keep an eye out. If you are not already on my newsletter, you can join by visiting my website and you'll hear when I start offering it or when it goes live first. There will be a personal revelation discovery call. So before you can actually sign up, it's important for me that we meet and that we vibe before I move forward in that contract and in that relationship. So keep an eye out for my personal revelation offering. I'm so excited about it. I have to tell you guys, I am hashtag blessed, feeling so grateful and excited for all the work that I'm doing and all the people that I get to work with, including you guys. So, yeah. All right. I'm just going to check the Facebook group and make sure that it's flowing and it's working. Usually I start a little bit early so that people can find the video. And I started a little bit later today. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Thanks so much for joining. Okay. So I am getting, hi Nadia, thanks so much for joining. You guys may have noticed for the last few months that I've been using StreamYard, which is streaming tech that allows me to stream through multiple channels. And one of the things that I love about it is it allows me to add all these all these fun things on here. Hey Kayla, thanks for joining. So I'm trying to play around with that a bit and see the best way to share this info with you guys. Let's see here. Okay, well, for those of you that are here, we're going to be doing some live emoji readings today. And so the way that these work is that we'll go into a grounding and clearing meditation. This helps us raise a vibe in the group and also helps us release all the things that we've acquired through the day. And after we go through the meditation, I'll ask you to set your intention and then share an emoji. If anyone joins late, I'm going to actually drop instructions in the comments so that they can stay up to date on what we're doing here. Last, before I get started, head over to my website at krisellcan.com and you can register on Eventbrite for these weekly Thursday demonstrations. They are completely free, but registering will send you reminders to let you know when they're happening. So if you guys want to go ahead and take a comfortable position, and you can, whether that you can take your comfortable position, whether that is sitting up, sitting back, standing up, laying down, whatever is most comfortable for you. And we will start with 3 deep clearing breaths. And we'll start by breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And last, deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And you can allow your breath to return to its normal rhythm. And visualize roots growing from your tailbone, flowing down your legs, over your feet, through your floorboards, into the ground, and into the earth. Watch as your roots flow and braid with all of the roots of the plants surrounding you. Take a deep breath here. Now watch as your roots continue downward through the different layers of earth and sediment. Watch as your roots flow down through rock, crystal, and water. Your roots meet with the earth's golden light core. And as your roots meet with this golden light core, it anchors you and grounds you into this experience. Take a deep breath here. Your roots drink up this golden light energy, and the light travels up your roots through the different layers of earth, through the different roots you've braided with. The light travels up through the ground, into your space, and into your body. The light enters your body, and as it enters, it illuminates each cell, with each cell illuminating the next, until the light travels up to your crown, and you are one illuminated being. Take a deep breath here. As the light reaches your crown and sprouts outward, the light reaches up into the sky, and down from the universe comes a white light, a column of white light. And this column of white light goes through the center of your being, connecting you back down to the earth's core. Watch as this white light expands to a 10-mile radius. Now watch as this white light expands to a 100-mile radius. And watch as this light expands until it covers the entire planet. Take a deep breath here. Take a moment to set your intention, whether it be to connect with a loved one or to receive guidance. But see your intention as a ball of light in front of your chest. And as you sit and connect with your intention, this ball grows and grows, and its energy feels stronger and more powerful. Sit here with your intention for another moment and take a deep breath. And when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to your fingers and back to your toes. And you can gently bat your eyelashes open. And then you can drop an emoji in the comments. Oh. I just tried to drink my water with the lid on. So while I'm waiting for everyone to drop emojis and whatnot, I want to share real quick that after this live, and actually you could do it while you're in this live, especially if you're on a computer, if you're joining from a computer, you can scroll down to the event description and there's a link there that's streamyard.com/Facebook. And if you click there, if you're joining from the Facebook group, of course, then it allows me to see your name in the streaming tech that I use. And then the other thing that I wanted to share is I'm just wondering, a quick energy check-in, just while we wait for everyone to share their emojis. But quick energy check-in. How's everyone feeling? I had a really hard time sleeping last night, and I usually have a really hard time sleeping around full moons, but the full moon is the energy of the full moon is waning. It's going away. We're transitioning out of it. I think it was at its peak on Sunday. And so it was really odd to me that I would feel that way. And I'm just wondering if any of you guys have felt it too. Hey, Claire. Thanks for joining. And hi, I hope I'm saying it, Irie. Hi, Irie. Thanks for joining. All right, so go ahead and give me a quick check-in with the energy, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with some readings. I had a particularly pretty heavy energy to the last 2 days. I mean, I didn't sleep well last night, so that gives you an idea. So I also have cards. I've been getting a lot of dragons in readings for the last week or two. And so I have my Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. And I will be pulling cards from that if I feel called. So if you guys are curious, this is the Oracle card deck that I have. Dragons by Diana Cooper. And I think she might even have a book, like an actual book that you can buy if you're just curious about it. Oh man. So Nadia couldn't sleep for several. Yeah, me too. And Kayla said she has been feeling full moon energy too in dream dreams. I've had wild vivid dreams. And Claire slept terrible last week. I think that's interesting because I think it also depends on your moon decks. Moon decks. Sorry, it depends on your moon cycle. So your feminine Mensi cycle is also referred to as the moon cycle because the lunar cycle is like a macrocosm of your feminine cycle. And so, depending on if you're a new moon or a full moon bleeder, you could be affected differently by the different phases. I'm a full moon bleeder. I think that's called the red moon or red blood. I forget, but it's red. So I tend to be very sensitive to full moons. Let's see here. So Nadia couldn't sleep, but you still got energy. I feel drained here. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right in, and I do think that I'm gonna jump with. I saw Kayla, and so I think I'm gonna start with her just to show you guys Kayla's emoji. It's a red dancing lady. So what I see, it's what I see when I tap in. It looks like kind of like your avatar and your emoji have kind of merged because I see the circle. It's like an oval frame of a woman, and she's dancing in it. And all I see is this oval frame instead of seeing the whole thing. So why this oval frame? Why this framing? It feels like this is a memory, but it feels like, so what I see is you dancing, and your hair is up. It looks like you're wearing like a strapless dress, but you're dancing. And I feel like I'm looking at a memory, not because it looks like it's an actual memory, but because it's framed. And what I'm getting out of this memory is that there's a lot of obvious movement, dancing, and it feels like a lot of energy flowing. It feels like there's a lot of heat and passion. And when you're dancing, you're just looking down. So it's like you're just in the feeling, that you're very much in the feeling. You're just going with the flow. And why does this matter? Or what does this have to do with it? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, you guys. I meant to share this in the comments. Whoa. So why this? so when I ask why this, my guides are showing me you, and it looks like you're, I see the symbol that I see when someone is frustrated, um, also feeling overwhelmed by energy, which doesn't mean that you can't handle it, it just means that you have a huge flow of energy happening to you. Um, and when I see it, what I see, the way I see the symbols, I see someone crying and they're like shaking their head like this, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. But then you're pointing out to someone. So it feels like you you've drawn a conclusion that there is someone that is at the source of it, that there is someone um, who it feels like there's someone to blame. And yes, your avatar that I see of you in my vision is nodding yes, there's someone to blame. And so part of me feels like, is there someone to blame? Or you keep saying yes, yes, there is someone to blame. Or is it that we see ourselves in this someone that is reflecting back to us what is happening and what has taken us out of this feeling, um, this first vision that I saw where you're dancing and you're just kind of like in the flow and feeling everything, but feeling it with joy. And I see you nodding. And what I see is it feels like um, slow movement that's kind of building up to dancing again. And the way I interpret this is because the ways that we can move energy, the ways that we can to shift our perspective can happen in very physical embodied practices. So you can visualize, and that can be really helpful if you have a very strong mindset. But if you're less of a visual mindset type of person, you can also tone and use sound and through your voice, through instruments and whatnot. Or you can use a physical practice like moving your body. And so, what this feels like is it's your higher self calling you to give yourself movement. Feels like you have a strong connection to dancing. I mean, yeah, I know you use the emoji of the dancing lady, but it feels like you actually love dancing. And part of it is that you feel like you're not in that space or that energy of loving dancing so much or being able to participate. Um, so I feel like I just keep feeling my body sway like this. And so it feels like this is just the beginning of your movement. But the more you dance and allow your body to move, and it doesn't even have to be dancing, exercise is an embodiment practice when you set the intention and have that conscious relationship that this physical movement is going to be as much for my spirit and my energy as it is for my physical body. And that is how you can find yourself. I hear the words shaking that person off. And yes, I do listen to Taylor Swift's older music. And so I do hear that song, Shake It Off. That movement in your own body is going to help you kind of shake the connection to that person. And actually, when I said the word connection, I feel called to look at your aura to see if there's a bond there, an energetic bond, and if it's something that needs to be released. So the person that they're showing me is actually, I see like this Spicoli looking fellow. He looks like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but maybe with like darker brown hair. He actually looks like an actor from the 90s, but I couldn't tell you his name. But he reminds me of Spicoli. He has the same surfer, like slacker vibe, but he has long hair. And the person they show me for you, because it feels like this is the person that might be the one that is to blame, has brownish goldish hair, and while his hair looks like a little on the greasier side, it looks like he has a bit of a curl to it. And it feels like So what I see is him behind you, and you're dancing and you're smiling and you're finding your joy again. And as you're dancing, you're kind of dancing away. And so what I feel like what this is that dancing for you is about finding your joy and reconnecting with your joy, so that you can see that you don't need him for your joy, or for you don't need to rely on him for happiness, that you are perfectly capable of creating that for yourself. And then you just kind of like shimmy away. Let's see here. And it actually feels like it's not going to be it's going to be a friendly release, because as I see you shimmy away, I actually see you hug him, and that there's still a friendship there, or that at least it's not an ugly disconnection. Like there's still love, but not because I don't even know if this is a romantic. I don't necessarily get the sense that this is a romantic relationship, but it feels like you can hug the person and walk away. So it's like you can do it while holding your head up high and feeling um, without loss, which I think is personally, I would say that when you find yourself calibrating out of a relationship, um, okay. So when you find yourself calibrating out of a relationship, I feel like what you gain is more of yourself, because what you're doing is you're identifying or reconnecting with parts of yourself, that so that you don't need to feel it fulfilled by another person. So Kayla said that much of this is very spot on, except I think this guy is my mother, which is possible. It's very possible. Okay. And actually that makes sense, because I don't feel like it's a romantic relationship, unless you like spooky types. So let me see here. I do feel called to pull a dragon card for you. So I'm going to pull a card, and then Claire's going to tell you what it means. I'm just kidding. I joke because she said she has this deck. Okay. Ooh. Golden, there we go. Golden orange dragon. And what the card says is expands your light for ascension, be a peaceful warrior, help those in need, and remember your magnificence, which I think is a beautiful message. And when I look at the picture of this card, it's a golden and orange colored dragon. And for me, golden I associate the golden light with the Akash, and with the golden light, the universal life force energy that connects us all. I see orange in this dragon, and orange is there's orange and there is some red, and orange has to do with how we feel, our sensuality, our pleasure, our creativity. But I also feel like from the red, and there's red is an accent color in this picture. Red has a lot to do with our identity. So when I feel into this dragon, what the picture, just looking at the picture, a book is falling, pages are falling. The dragon actually is holding a quill. So it looks like the dragon might be the one writing the pages. But I also feel what I get from this picture are vibes that um, you don't need to rely on books and instructions and literature, that remembering who you are and what kind of a powerful being that you are, what kind of powerful being that you are, that you, I keep wanting to say is, but remember the powerful being that you are. And that you don't need any books, you don't need any instruction, you don't need someone to tell you how to do it. All you have to do is feel into it, because you're a very feeling person, and you'll remember who you are, and you'll remember your passion and what really drives you and what propels you forward. So I'm just going to end this by reading what this golden orange dragon, reading the highlights. I like to interpret the card first, and this is not a deck I use all too often, and I don't usually use decks in the readings, but okay, so Ooh, fifth dimensional golden orange dragons are part of Archangel Metatron's ascension team. So Metatron leads forward individuals who are ready to follow his path. At the same time, he's overseeing the ascension of the entire universe. The golden orange dragon who works for him are carrying the fifth dimensional ascension blueprint for Earth, and they come to those of us who are ready to make a difference. As soon as they see a golden orange energy awaken in our aura, they breathe into us to expand it, accelerate our ascension journey. So let me jump to what the guidance says in the book. This card connects you with the illuminated Metatron as well as his powerful ascended dragons. You are on your ascension path, and this card means it's a time for a push forward on your ascension path. Do you need to meditate more, or examine, release old stuff, or embrace who you truly are and recognize your magnificence? I think you need to embrace who you truly are and recognize your magnificence. You can connect with dragons because I like to see them as earth angels or angels embodied in physical, with a physical form, because I see angels as light beings. Tell these dragons what you need in order to take the next step on your journey into the higher frequencies, and they will help you. Call on them for support, and they will provide it. They are wonderful companions and friends. The end. Thank you so much, Kayla. Okay, I'm just going to clear from Kayla's energy, and then I'll read the next person. And thank you, Joe, for joining. As you can see, I also include physical embodiment in my clearing. Okay. Aw, thank you, Kayla. Thank you for letting me read for you. So let me see who is next. Oh, and thank you, Karen, for joining. Okay, so I'm going to jump to Nadia. So Nadia, if you're still around, let me look for your emoji. I think this is you. I need to drink water. Okay, Nadia. You guys, usually when I get emoji readings, or when I do emoji readings, that it has nothing to do with your emoji. The emoji is like a meaningless label on a jar that carries your intention. But so far, your emojis are leading into the images and symbols that I'm receiving from Spirit. So Nadia, for you, I see this ant, and I see it climbing up an anthill. And when I look at this anthill, it's like crumbly, dry dirt. I almost feel like it's a desert almost. And whenever I get desert vibes, it tells me that there's a lot of passion and intuition. There's a lot of fire energy. Fire energy with the land, because the heat is it feels like there's an imbalance because there's so much fire and heat, because that's what creates this desert climate, that it dries up the water in the earth. So it makes it to the point that either something new gets created in this ecosystem, and by something new I mean like the vegetation that you would find in a desert, as opposed to, say, a mountainous region or a coastal region, because there's just so much heat and fire. And when I talk about heat and fire, we're talking about, what are your passions? What makes your heart sing? What is the work that you really want to do? And it also has to do with our intuition, because our intuition is very connected to our creativity. It's our inspiration. And when I see this ant climbing up this mountain, this little ant hill or whatever you want to call it, it's going upwards. Um, what it makes me see is like a journey, because that's what mountains mean. If you read tarot, the symbol of a mountain symbolizes a journey. So, what is this journey that you're going on, feeling like such a tiny speck in the universe? And all the meanwhile, ooh, okay, hold on. I feel it in my head. I need to recollect myself. So it feels like you see yourself as this tiny speck in the universe, and because you see yourself as a tiny speck in the universe, you also feel like that is a measure of value for your passions and your creativity and what it is that you really want to pursue. And that's what this uphill battle is, because it feels like you have this passion, but then because you see yourself as being so small, as opposed to you are a part of this massive collective that is all working together to create this reality. So no size is too small, and actually no size matters. You let that dictate the value of your passion. And the little ant nods yes. Um, but it feels like in that nodding of yes, of acknowledging what I just said, that in itself um, is enough to give that heat somewhere to go, giving that heat purpose, because it feels like there's some relief from the heat from that, because all of a sudden I see you on a patch of grass. So acknowledge first. It feels like for you, acknowledge first how you're feeling and even speak it out loud, because that helps you release it. I always tell people to journal it, because that's like taking it from your brain and purging it and putting it on paper. And so that's a form of releasing it. Um, but and to let it go, because that thought no longer serves you. The thought that you're too small no longer serves you. Um, and it feels like the more that you allow yourself to speak, release, and let it go, the more balance that you can bring to your environment, your internal environment of yourself as land, water, air, and fire. And when I said that, it was like a huge gust of wind blew across this little picture of land and grass and the ant. And it just feels like, so I talked about how energy is always in motion. Actually, I don't know. I'm getting everything jumbled up now. But energy is always in motion, and always healthy energy is always moving. We always want it to move. And what it feels like is when you start to release those thoughts, you're giving flow for more energy to flow. And so this energy that's going to flow through is going to come through, and the energy will flow through, and it's like it's shaking things up, but in the way that in nature, wind carries with it spores and seeds to allow new life to plant. So, new paradigms, new patterns. So, it feels like you're just in a place where you need to release. And whether that be a primal scream, which is really great, screaming into a pillow, or letting yourself move your body. So, physical embodiment practices, those are also helpful. But also journaling. And it feels like you have a lot held in your head about, the ways that you feel and what you're thinking. And so journaling could probably, it feels like it's the most helpful way for you to digest it. Ooh, so Nadia wrote, very accurate, I'm aware, and just left a very toxic career. So not sure what's next, but totally understand this. And I am so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you, because your peace is the most important thing. Your peace is more important than than a paycheck. Honestly, your peace is far more important than that, because there are so many different ways to earn an income that compromising yourself is not necessary. And I say that as a person. If you guys are unfamiliar with my story, I had a 15-year career as a commercial banker, which I loved my job at different points, but I got to a point where I felt like I was building someone else's dream. And before that, I felt like the environment was very toxic, and I had to change my situation. So I feel for you. And as I look back, because it's been about a month since I quit my job, as I look back, I reflect, I realize that every situation was an opportunity for me to grow in my sovereignty and how I value myself. So if you just left your very toxic career, I guarantee you're going to need time to rest and digest from that, because it took me about 2 weeks, and I feel like I'm still going through it, to allow myself to cry and grieve this 15-year relationship that I left. And I feel that's very normal, and that people don't talk about how they break their relationship with whatever it is, even if it's a person to person relationship. But business relationships are relationships too. And so you may still feel like you are grieving those. Your last day. So Nadia said her last day was yesterday, and today is her grass patch. So congratulations. And you don't need to worry about what's next. And I think you know that, because I feel a blossoming in your heart. And that's the biggest thing, is that allow your heart to heal from that very toxic experience. And I feel that you are very connected to your intuition too, and just follow your heart. Allow yourself to lead yourself, and let yourself lead yourself through, does this bring me joy, or do I feel like I'm going to be in a compromising situation again? So I'm going to pull a dragon card for you real quick. One of the things that I learned from leaving my corporate job was that, and starting my business, was that we are making our values known in everything that we do. So if your values are to be valued and to have time for self-care and to have spaciousness and not feel overwhelmed or stressed, to put yourself in situations that you can be proud of the association, the relationship that you're having to that situation, and so on and so forth. We speak that through everything that we do, whether it be how we handle our relationship with others, or how we handle our relationship with our money, or how we spend our money, and how we invest and associate with different companies and different people. And so as I started my own business in Krisell Cam, I knew that if I wanted my business to thrive, I need to, and I choose to, I get to support other small businesses, knowing that my money is going to support that person and their dreams, because I believe in them as much as I believe in myself. And I believe in them creating their own reality through the time and structure that they create through their business and their involvement, so that they could have more time with their family and so on and so forth. Okay, so Nadia, those are all things to think about as you move forward. Oh my God, you guys, I can't tell you how many times I shuffled this deck and cut it and shuffled and cut it and shuffled, but you and Kayla got the exact same card. So I feel like that is intentional, that we're all kind of in this space that we are remembering our magnificence. So thank you, Nadia, for letting me read for you. Just gonna disconnect with your energy. And let's see here. So Sam. Or I'm sorry, not Sam, Joe. Joe, are you still around? If you could drop me an emoji, Joe, and then I will read you next. Yes, synchronicity. I love it too. Thank you, Nadia. But Joe, if you're still around, I'd love to read for you next. Just drop me an emoji. Yay! Okay. Again, with the emojis leading into the reading. So what I saw, Joe, is like, is this yellow muscular arm? And that's your emoji. But what I see is like a muscle builder or a bodybuilder. And it reminds me of Muscle Beach in Venice. And it's just this like swole arm with this black muscle tank. And it actually reminds me of this character from The Simpsons, is what I see. And it's this character that they, what's it called? He has like a accent, and he is supposed to be like an Arnold Schwarzenegger character. So it feels like this beefcake looking character. And why is he doing this? So he's just like standing and he's walking around like this. But why? Why this? I feel like this is a personification of you and maybe how you carry yourself. Like there's a lot of confidence there, regardless of what your size actually is. And I can't tell from your profile picture if you are really, if you're really, why am I at a loss for words? Cut like that. But you definitely carry that kind of energy about you. And I actually feel like you're a bit of a chameleon, because when I see this image kind of play out, it's like he wipes his arms and then he takes off like this meat suit and he becomes a totally different person. And what I see when the meat suit is taken off and you're this totally different person, what I see is more of in alignment with your profile picture, like not this cartoon anymore, but more of your profile picture. And over you, I see it's almost like you have a rainbow ombre with lots of glitter about you. And it feels like this juxtaposition of two very different characterizations, which go from this very very masculine, very physical, very stoic energy, then to this very vibrant, vivid in color, a lot of different textures there type of energy. And when I see these two, now I see these two kind of characterizations standing next to each other, and it's like they're walking out into the sunset, holding hands. And I feel like that is a representation of how they're both you. It feels like these are both you, that your inner world is this very vibrant, multidimensional being, but then the outer world, the public persona, is this very like stand tall, stand proud, stand very big, this protector, defender, however you should call it. And let's see. And as I was kind of looking at it, I asked my guides, like, why this? How does this help Joe? And it feels like letting the multidimensional part of you to nurture the masculine part of you. But that the other way is actually happening, because I see the muscle builder, bodybuilder, actually cradling the other personification of you, the one that has the stars and the different glowing lights and the ombre colors. And it looks like it has texture. It's almost like if it was covered in glitter, and when you touch like paper mache that's covered in glitter, that there's a lot of the masculine leading the multidimensional. I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily call it feminine, because I usually associate feminine with black, but it's just the masculine, the part that feels masculine feels one dimensional, and then the other one with all the texture and stuff just feels multidimensional, multifaceted, that there's so many layers to it. And what I see is a one dimensional cradling the multidimensional, but it feels like you should be doing the reverse. And they're nodding yes. And why is that? The one dimensional side. I mean, I feel like I don't even need to reference the one dimensional side, because it's pretty self explanatory. It's one dimensional, it's pretty flat. But what I also feel is that a lot of the creative juices will flow when you allow the multidimensional side to lead you. And it feels like that's really that's your magic. So when I work with people, the work that really brings me joy is when I help people bring their intuition into their work. So you could be a chef, you could be a business owner of whatever kind of business, and then we find how we can bring your intuition and your intention into the work that you do. And it feels like this multidimensional side is like your intuition. And so the reason why I really love that work is because that's the creative side. That's where people are always trying to look for, I need to find something really unique. Well, you are really unique. You don't need to try and come up with a totally new idea, which I don't know that there's such thing as a totally new idea anymore. But you can take something that already exists that you love, and then we can infuse your energy into that and create something really special. And that's the magic. And so I feel like that's what you need to allow by letting your multidimensional side flow through. Let's see here. So, Joe, I'm going to pull a card for you. And we'll see if you get the golden orange dragon. Oh my God. Joe, you got the same golden orange dragon. So I think, remember your magnificence. I don't feel like this is a new part to you. I don't feel like that there is that there's any guidance on how to connect with this multidimensional side of you more, but I feel like this is a part that you're already aware of. And so it feels like allowing yourself to relax and let it come out more, and to feel more freedom in your expression of it. So, really interesting. Again, last three readings, everyone got the same card. You guys saw me shuffle these cards, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull a dragon card for the collective, and we'll see if we. I'm going to laugh if we get the same card. I'm also not going to be surprised, because you don't get three people pulling the same card and then all of a sudden, like, it would make sense to get the same card for the card for the collective. Oh my God. I wish I was a magician and knew how to do card tricks, because then I could explain this. But this card is for the collective, clearly. So thank you guys so much for joining. I only have a few minutes left, so I don't have enough time to get into another reading. But head to my website, join my newsletter, and if you head over to my classes and events section, you can register for these free virtual demonstrations, and it'll send you a reminder every week so that you know to join. So thank you again, everyone that let me read for them. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you guys. I won't be here next week. Next week, I'm taking the week off, but the following week, we'll be doing psychic development. So see you guys in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, next week, everything. Thank you so much. Bye, you guys.